You walk into a warm local cafe. The space is filled with comfortable couches that have been worn down, weathered by years of use. The walls are filled with art that feels like home, not overthought, just fills the eyes and heart with joy. More and more, these spaces are being replaced with bright fluorescent lights, soulless walls, and businesses that only care about the bottom dollar. In 1900, nearly 90% of businesses were small, locally owned shops. Large corporations, as we know today, were rare. And manufacturing or service-oriented jobs were typically family-owned. Today, however, nearly 60% of retail store locations in the U.S. are part of large chains which dominate the market in sectors like grocery, pharmacy, and convenience. Most, if not all, modern people can no longer live in modern life without some dependency on large chains. Whether that is grocery shopping at Walmart, getting coffee at Starbucks, or eating a burger at any number of the fast food restaurants lining the streets. It almost seems counterintuitive that these businesses would spread throughout the world, given that small businesses generate a greater overall feeling of happiness. The fact of the matter is there is a complex set of reasons and events these giants of industry take over. These places are so popular, prevalent. How then could these storefronts be that bad? So many people enjoy these things. Therefore, they must be the better option. But there is an intangible price that is paid. A war on individuality and a war on the soul. What makes these businesses feel dark, drab, and frankly uninspired? Well, Pablo Picasso, one of the most famous artists in the world, once said, "The chief enemy of creativity is good sense." The greatest offense these businesses commit is to appeal to a broader audience. They generally go with a minimalist design because they are unoffensive and appeal to a wide range of customers. They avoid bold design choices that could alienate certain demographics. They always opt for a neutral and modern aesthetic that will work universally. We can see this same behavior reflected in individuals. This is referred to as people-pleasing. The act of someone trying to gain approval from everyone while simultaneously avoiding conflict. Essentially being agreeable, putting on a good face, and not standing out with strong opinions or actions. This does in fact create harmony, but it also destroys their humanity. The more an individual tries to please, the more they lose their self, their authenticity. The greatest trait humans have is their individuality. If they do not bring that to the table, they are simply nothing, a shapeless, formless being molded by their environment as opposed to molding their environment. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." The same can be said about business. Big businesses lose vital human traits when they expand. They are artificially placed in areas they do not belong in, crafted in such a way to not stand out but seem good enough for a customer to choose it over the competition. There is another concept called LCD, or lowest common denominator. This is simply an extension of people-pleasing, and another tool that big businesses use to expand their reach. The lowest common denominator approach refers to simplifying both the menu and the ambiance to appeal to as wide of an audience as possible. This often sacrifices creativity and uniqueness for broad acceptability. If we were at a coffee shop, for example, instead of offering artisan drinks, they would only offer tried and true drink, hot and ice drip coffee, cappuccinos, maybe even a vanilla latte. In this scenario, there is little room for locally sourced or artisanal drinks, which often cater to a smaller and more adventurous clientele. By not offering anything that deviates from the mainstream taste, the shop avoids the risk of confusing or turning off customers who are not accustomed to the niche offering. And the unfortunate truth is the only reason that this strategy works is because customers willfully accept it. Not enough individuals reward small businesses for any risk taking. The culture in the United States is largely consumer centric. The bottom dollar is the most important to an individual. The cheaper the product, the more they can consume. This is why manufacturing has shifted to much cheaper alternatives such as China. Big chains still dominate because customers prioritize price, convenience, and consistency over supporting local businesses. During economic downturns, customers will flock even more to big chains. During the 2008 financial crisis, Walmart sales rose by 7.2%, while many small businesses experienced sharp decline. A similar trend occurred during the COVID-19 pandemic, when big box retailers recorded record earnings, while 60% of small businesses closed temporarily or permanently. In my opinion, this phenomenon all comes down to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a psychological theory proposed by Abraham Maslow. It outlines a 5-tier model of human needs, typically depicted as a pyramid, with more fundamental needs at the bottom and the higher level needs situated at the top. The theory suggests that people must satisfy the lower level needs before they can attend to the higher level needs. At the lower levels, you can obviously find food, water, and shelter. But at the bottom, you can also find financial security. Corporate structures put all their efforts to maximize the lower levels of the pyramid. If you do so, other individuals cannot compete with the higher levels. It seems the core of human psychology is at fault. This is not a video essay to defend corporate America, but I find most, if not all, problems today are a reflection of the human subconscious. We inherently put up with the laziness and lack of inspiration that comes from corporatism because we are just trying to survive. And because of this, we pay the price. If we are not actively painting the world around us, it will slowly fade to gray, eroding all culture. It is not all bleak, though. I believe there are human forces working in the opposite direction, competing with the negative ones. We all crave and desire new experiences in art. We also feel deep nostalgic feelings for the beauty of the past. The question is, will we demand the same for the present?